How to stop living in place of fear. I tell you what, your decisions are shaping your life right now. Are you living in a place of fear? There's a lot of crazy stuff going on in the world. Yeah, some of it's totally unbelievable. But the thought that you have and the thoughts that you're going through right now, these are the decisions that are making changes in your life. They're shaping your life moving forward. And if you're not operating out of positivity and abundance, if you're operating out of fear, it's time to stop. It's time to take control of the trajectory that you have in your life. So today on the Daily Mastermind, we're going to be talking specifically about that. So anyway, welcome back to the Daily Mastermind. I'm George Wright III with your daily dose of inspiration, motivation, and education. I want to start out today with the Daily Mastermind quote of the day. I think the quote of the day is a great one because it applies to what we're going to be talking about. It's by Vishen Lakhiani, and it's "You gotta dream bigger." You have to dream bigger. And if you don't have that on the Daily Mastermind mobile app, I encourage you to get that because that's free quotes and thoughts that you can have every single day. Anyway, this is a great quote because it'll apply specifically to how you can start to change what you're doing. The bottom line is this: do you feel like your life is out of control? Do you feel like everybody around you is kind of losing their minds and just crazy stuff is happening? Well, I definitely have felt that. And I know a lot of people I've talked to have felt that as well. And there's just a lot of crazy stuff going on, talk, events, things going on that are just a little unbelievable to say at the least. But it's time, if that's the case, if you're really feeling that way, it's time for you to stop and really make a change and start to do something different with your life. You've got to start creating your life and not just reacting in your life. So I want to talk today about fear. You've got to ask yourself that question. Are you operating out of a place of fear and scarcity? You've got to become aware of this. A lot of us have just been kind of pulled into this because of the quarantine and COVID and things. We've been pulled into this little isolated shelter. You've got to figure out what you're making your decisions based on and where you're coming from. And if you are operating out of a place of fear, you've got to accept that and you've got to make a decision to move on because your best life is really only going to come from operating out of a place of abundance, a place where you can really get solutions. What you focus on grows, right? What you think about, you're going to attract. And your perceptions and your thoughts, they're shaping everything you have going on because your thoughts are shaping your feelings, are shaping your actions, and those are creating the results you're going to be getting. And, if you are having a lot of fear and uncertainty, you're going to be shaping your future with those thoughts. And I'm talking about, if you feel like it's a little helpless and situations aren't going your way and work's not well or finances are down. And listen, I get it. There's a lot of struggle going on right now. But just because you have struggle doesn't mean that you have to operate from that place of struggle. I'm talking about, are you operating out of your dreams and goals and your direction, or are you operating from your circumstances? If you're operating and you're living and you're reacting out of all those circumstances, you've got to break that cycle. You've got to stop doing that and you've got to start doing something different with your life. And so I want to give you just a few suggestions. I want to give you a few solutions to maybe help you just shift your momentum a little bit, shift your focus of your thoughts and your energy. I think it's very, very important that you learn to do this. And so Wednesdays, we always talk about a little bit more motivation and inspiration. And so I want to give you some ways to do that. The first is you've got to shut out the noise. You have to stop listening to social media and email and news. I would say shut news off completely because half of it, 99% of it, you can't believe. And you got to get away from negative people and your past failures and other people. You've got to get away from talking to people about what happened that went wrong and things like that. You've got to shut out the noise. And then you have to overwhelm yourself with positive. There's a lot of ways to do that. You can just, even if you don't have it in you, you can start pushing positive in. You got podcasts, you've got videos, you've got books, you've got positive people. Get around people that are winning. I can promise you this. There are a lot of people winning right now. When COVID and all the restrictions and lockdowns came down, I run marketing for a lot of events, and we had to stop doing live events. But guess what? we pivoted into virtual events. Most of you have probably been on a Zoom recently, and we've gone from having 100, 150 high net worth people flying in to over 500 people at our events or more. We've had thousands of registrations. We're doing weekly webinars that are bigger than most of our, big stage events that we are doing with some of the biggest names out there, like Tony Robbins and Robert Kiyosaki and guys like that. But you've got to overwhelm yourself with positive, and you can do that because you have the internet. You can have mentors literally on your phone. And there's so much going on with podcasts and videos and YouTube. Another suggestion is repetition of thoughts. Your repetition of thoughts would be like your affirmations or notes or vision boards or, what do you look at every day on your phone that you have? You've got a screen there, and if you look at the number of times you look at that, do you have your dreams on there? Do you have your goals on there? Are you visualizing positive, or do you have just apps and social media? You've got to make a change, and repetition is the key. Put pictures up on your dash of your car, your fridge, or your mobile phone. Get things in front of yourself. The other thing, and this goes back to our quote from earlier, is dream big. You can only move forward with confidence when you have a strong vision of the future. You have to have a vision that's clear, or, even if you don't know exactly what you want, that's positive and clear moving forward. Because, most of us are focused on our situation or things that have happened in the past. So I encourage you to look towards the future more. And another suggestion, another strategy for you would be to take your focus off you. I know that whenever I get sort of stuck in my circumstances or stuck inside my head, it's because it's all about me. And for those of you that know me, because I'm a pretty strong personality, a lot of times it is about me. And what I got to do is I got to catch myself. And the way you do that is you start focusing on service or gratitude or contribution or learning to connect with other people. And when you do those things and you don't make it about you, all of a sudden, your circumstances and negativity and stuff don't become as big. So take the focus off you. Now, here's the thing I want to kind of really point out here, because the reason a lot of times we have fear and we get overwhelmed or stuck in our head is that we're focused on our past experiences or behaviors, and they create our beliefs, right? Or events. And we just don't want those to happen again, and we judge ourselves because of them, or we're tuned into negative stuff in the present moment. But both of these circumstances are keeping you outside the bright future. And the key is you've got to be focused more on the future and what you're looking forward to, and stop focusing on those. Now, the reason we do this, quite honestly, is because it's more clear and absolute in the past and the present than it is in the future. So you have to purposely force yourself to build a better future, to clarify your future, and you do that by inundating yourself with the pictures and the people and the vision and the affirmations you have of the future. Because you got to remember this, the past is over and the future isn't written. So the only thing you can have optimism about is the future. And it's time to start looking at your future, because your future is bright. So what will it be? Are you going to be starting to create your future life and focus on what's in front of you instead of looking down or behind you? Or are you going to continue to keep living in a reactive way? It's really up to you. It's your choice. You do have the choice to decide how you're going to respond to circumstances in your life. And it's like Rocky said, it's not how many times you get knocked down in life. It's how many times you get knocked down and get back up that are going to define you, right? And so you are not your mistakes. You are not your circumstances. You are not your environment. All those things happen no matter what, but you are not the sum total of everything happening in your life. That's why there are people crushing it despite the economy, despite COVID, despite things. And trust me, there are a lot of bad things that happen to people that are doing big things in their life. Maybe even sometimes more. I don't know if you want to believe that or not, but you are not your mistakes. You are not your past. Those are just things that are going to help you to grow. You got to change that perspective. And you are what's inside, your true core. You are the best version of yourself that hasn't been released. It hasn't been revealed. It's time to sort of make that happen. It's time for you to make that change in your life and start to move forward. And it only happens through action. Not even so much decision. Sometimes we haven't quite got the faith and the belief and the decision. So it's action. And it's my hope that you're going to turn your challenges into opportunities. It's my hope that you'll turn all the negatives into positives. And through action, you can do that. It's my goal to be able to help you to do that. So let me know what I can do for you. Hit me up on the Daily Mastermind on Instagram. Hit me up on Facebook, or just email me. I've had several people this week just email me at george@g3worldwide.com. I give out my personal email address. Sometimes it takes me longer to get through it, and sometimes it doesn't. But thanks for listening today. Do me a favor. Share this podcast with somebody else that you know, just with one person. It'll mean the world to me. It'll make a difference for somebody else. And I really look forward to helping you. And I appreciate you tuning into the podcast. My name is George Wright III, and this has been the Daily Mastermind. Have a great day.